start the intro.
Mic check 1, 2.
Action!
Tell these rappers I'm outside, get them start acting up. Turning hoes to housewives and cleaning the ratchet up. Do it off from boom back to melody rap. If they can put you in the box, then you might as well pack it up. Bars having bars, no cap, I'm Attica, you a precinct. How y'all competing when y'all just decent? Your rhyme efficiency's like logic simplicity. Don't tell me how much that you black, cause I don't see it. That's it. Welcome to precinct.
Fuck the ball! Fuck everybody on the floor! When we see you in the finals, bring that same energy, nigga!
Yo, 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 yo! Welcome everybody to the latest edition of Knicks Nation, hosted by our brother, my brother from another mother, Kev, the co-host. What's going on, Kev? And of course, I am the infamous one, Knickerbocker Ave. Live post game, the New York Knicks fall to the Washington Wizards, 120-103 in preseason form. This is considered, I guess, it's like a cut game. Starters did not play. So there was no Jalen Brunson, no Karl Anthony Towns, no Mitchell Robinson, no Giannis, no Mikal Bridges, no Josh Hart. It was pretty much let's play everybody else. Yeah. So the Washington Wizards, be that as they may, they did come to play today. They pretty much embarrassed us for about 3.5 quarters, and then the Knicks made it interesting in the fourth. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, take it what you will. It is the preseason. The Knicks, we're not interested in wins and losses in the preseason. We're only really considering, player performances and how does it team chemistry and just how everything goes. So, Kev, right off the bat, what did you think of tonight's performances from our second and third string guys?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think defensively, you saw what happened. Like you said before, the first 3 quarters, Washington. Well, I would say the first half, the second quarter, the third quarter was kind of close. We were trying to do something, but I think it was just like a little bit too late because in that first half, Washington was just toying with us, bro. Our second and third unit today, I think it was like the first time throughout the playoffs the preseason, that they struggle like this. Usually they come out on point, firing, making shots, playing aggressive on both sides, but not today. Washington came, they completely outplayed us, out-rebounded us, outshot us, the assists, they won the assist battle 31-24. They completely demolished us on the defensive, on the rebounding. What's his name? The kid, Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley. Yeah. The third, he was toying with us, bro, down low. I feel like if Mitchell Robinson was there, that wouldn't have happened, but I'm going to let him slide. I hope he was giving it to us, like, a lot of pause, but,
yeah.
I mean, there ain't really much to say, bro. Like, they really washed us up. They played a complete game today, and we just had no answer until the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. I concur with everything you just said, especially on the defensive end. And before I go on, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Michael Brown, EZ7, Marlon Mayhem is what's popping, brother. What's going on?
What up, cuz?
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and of course, get some merch. The link is right there, Knicks Nation at myshopify.com. Be sure to to cop yourself some merch. Some new stuff is on the way, right in time for the regular season. Defensively, I think I was messaging in the group chat with you and with Tea Time. Like, I like to weigh the defensive effort in the defensive ideology and identity of the team based on how the bench plays. And since nothing but the bench play today, there really wasn't any kind of organization. Now, understandably so, it's the preseason. You're not really going to go full effort. You're not going to show off every tool in the bag, but you want to see some effort. And tonight, you didn't see any of that. You saw a bunch of guys. You saw 5 guys, trying to get down the court. I mean, you really didn't see like that whole Mike Brown, philosophy of getting to the corners and stuff like that. I mean, you saw that in glimpses. I know Deuce tried, Jordan Clarkson tried, Malcolm Brogdon tried, but then then after that, it was kind of like back to the same old basketball. I think my boy Steve kind of says like it looked like the 2017 Knicks, and it's like, well, good thing we're seeing them now. And not during the regular season, because I mean, if this was a regular season game in the middle of the year and we lose to the Washington Wizards, not to sneeze at any professional team, but come on, it's the Washington Wizards, for Christ's sake, come on.
Nah, like in the fashion that we lost too, 120. Like we was down by 30 at one point.
I think they were up by 36 at one point. I think it was.
Yeah, 30. Yeah, it was really bad, and but I felt like when Tyler Kolek showed me something today, though. Like he kind of tried to lead the team to a little comeback towards the end of the game. He kind of took over, and
a little bit.
I've been dying to see that out of him. The way he controlled the offense, he was making shots. He was playing aggressive. He was looking for his guys. He had 6 assists in 23 minutes. He had 20 points in 23 minutes.
Yeah, led all scores.
Yeah, which is pretty good. And if we could, somehow, some way continue to get that out of him going into the regular season, that'll be awesome. But that was like the only thing to me that was exciting to watch, really, because other than that, man, it was just the Washington Wizards show.
It was. It really was. But you know what? I then have to ask you this question: Was that performance by Tyler Kolek, 23 minutes, 20 points, taking over the fourth quarter like the way he did, and really trying to rally his team and cut the deficit essentially in half at one point, and actually looking for a shot, which is something that I think every Knicks fan, who wants to believe in Tyler Kolek, would say, was this enough to keep him on the team? Or is this, another opportunity to showcase him to other teams in order to move him?
I mean, I think right now, I don't know. To be honest with you, it could be possible that the Knicks are trying to move him, and if that's the case, I hope he continues to keep playing like this, so that way the value could go up and we could get something nice in return. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, I would like for this to for him to stay on the team. You know what I mean? He's young. He's an actual Knick. We actually drafted him. And I would like to see him develop under us. If it's possible. If it's possible.
Right. Well, welcome.
Your question. I hope I answered your question.
I think it does. And anybody listening and watching us right now, hit us up with a super chat. Let us know what you think. Did Tyler Kolek convince you to stay on this team? But let's welcome in the First Lady of the Knickerbocker Nation, of Mrs. Nixon-ish. How you doing, and what's going on?
What up, sis?
What's up? So I'm gonna put it out there. I ain't catch the game, not at all. So
She's out on the road somewhere. She's out on the road. That's what it is. Mrs. Nix is out on the road.
I'm in San Antonio today.
Oh wow!
But yeah, I am looking at numbers, and Tyler Kolek putting up 20 points is pretty impressive. But I mean,
the other games he just didn't give it to me. So I don't know.
Pause. That's kind of pause. That was kind of a
I
pause.
will
That was a
say
pause right
this.
there.
That's a pause. You're right. I will say this because me and Frank, we were trying to get to the hotel, and we were looking at the score, and he's like, "Well, it's pretty impressive if your bench could give you that many points without any of your starters." And it kind of is like, all right, yeah, you're right. If our second and third string could give us 103 without a starter playing, that's pretty nice. I mean, just looking at the score, I the box scores, I would have wanted to see maybe some more from Clarkson, other than 12 points, since technically he was the leader of today's team. But it is what it is. I mean, like you said, Knickerbocker, this is a cut game.
Yeah.
Now, if any of our starters would have played and we would have lost this bad, then I'd have been pissed. But it is what it is. This is what preseason is all about, right? See what everybody can offer.
Right, and I think that goes without saying. I mean, this was a cut game. I mean, I think anybody who's a true basketball fan will concede that if you rest your starters for a preseason game and you just play the second and third string guys, it's because you got to make cuts, before
Right.
Friday night and right before the regular season, because the D-Day is almost coming. Marlon Mayhem, he believes that he's a keeper, but honestly, I don't know if he's a keeper on this team because of the fact that, like you said, Marlon, the point guard spot is crowded. You got Jalen Brunson. He's not going anywhere. You just got Malcolm Brogdon. And everybody and their mother is excited to death that he's here because of what he can bring to this team, especially in the playoffs. And then you already have Deuce, who, we already know. We've all decided he's not a point guard, but he can run the point sometimes. And so can Jordan Clarkson sometimes. So where does Tyler Kolek really fit in? And should Mike Brown consider playing him a whole lot more, especially on Friday night when we play the Charlotte Hornets at the Garden?
Go ahead, Anna. You can answer that.
I mean, I don't know. I think the Knicks are gonna try to find a way to keep Deuce, to keep maybe Shamit and Brogdon, and so everybody else is just trying to gain value in these couple of games that we have left, to see if another team will bite and maybe move a Dottier and a Tyler to keep who we want to keep. You know what I mean?
Right.
I agree with you. I think Tyler, unfortunately, he'll play. I think he belongs in the league. Yes. Unfortunately, we're guard heavy, and kind of like we said before, the Emmanuel Quickly situation, right? Like, does he stay here and be a nobody, or do we go let him flourish elsewhere?
Where's Toronto with their cap exceptions? We could really use them right now, even though they just dismissed the case. That they opened a couple years ago.
And
I mean, it's
what's
kind of the
crazy?
same situation as Dallas, right? It's the same situation as Dallas. They had to choose whether they're gonna keep Brunson or keep running it, running with Luka. Luckily for us, they chose Luka, right? And we got Jalen.
Only to trade Luca away later
Yeah,
on.
that's dumb on their end.
But then again, they got Cooper Flag, to kind of alleviate some of that pain from them. But that's neither here nor there.
Right.
So
it's crazy today how I seen what's her name, the kid Dottier, pack him up. Dottier, they actually had him like running the offense a little bit. I was kind of shocked about that.
Well, I think that Pacome Dottier is a given as someone that they're willing to trade for cash exceptions. It became evident to me, from that first preseason game in Abu Dhabi when he started in place of OG. So to me, I think that Pacome Daddier, although has a great ceiling and has a lot of potential to be something, this team, because of where it sits in the Eastern Conference, where it sits in terms of its expectations, and of course this fan base, there's really not a lot of room for a Pacome Daddier. There's not a lot of room for a Tyler Kolek. There's definitely not enough room for a Kevin McCullough Jr. Even though, I'm sure that Leon Rose is well aware of that. And I'm sure that he's been on the phone, with teams constantly trying to figure out a way to make room so that you can keep a Malcolm Brogdon. Because if you let a Malcolm Brogdon go, say that happens, or a Landry Shamet goes, someone else is going to pick them up. It may not be immediate, but somebody's going to pick them up because they're going to want shooting. They're going to want what those guys bring. And especially with this team the way it is, because of the over reliance of the starting lineup that Tom Thibodeau did last year, and our bench being exposed, you kind of really need to sacrifice a little bit of the youth. I mean, you already did so much when you traded all those picks for Mikal Bridges. I mean, yes, we say fuck them picks, but those could have been assets for something else. And because you're now at win now, the time is now. We have to cash in because the Eastern Conference is never going to be as weak as it is right now. Boston is where it's at. Indiana is where it's at. Milwaukee's in turmoil. Atlanta is an iffy. Detroit is up and coming. Orlando is up and coming. You look at that, and Cleveland's still over there. I'm not going to disregard them. It's prime pickings for the New York Knicks to cash in on this opportunity right now. Which then kind of brings me up into the next topic, because I don't know if it was discussed in the last show, but it's been discussed everywhere else. So I think it's time that we kind of put in our 2 cents. The report came out last week by Shams Charania of ESPN. Apparently, the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2-time former MVP, had questioned his current team, the Milwaukee Bucks, on whether or not they are ready to contend and actually seriously contend for another championship. He wants another title. And amidst that conversation, one of the teams that he considered to be traded to is, of course, our beloved New York Knicks. According to Shams, there was a 2 or 3 week window in early August, and obviously no deal came from that. I always question the timing, and I always question the severity, the severity of how serious was this rumor, or how serious were these conversations. Obviously, if you ask the 2 teams, either side are going to say, well, they weren't really serious. But Kev, I'm going to start with you. When you woke up that past Wednesday morning, and you saw that alert, what was your reaction, and how did you see it?
The first thing that came to my mind was, Leon, don't you fucking dare. That really was the first thing that came to my mind.
Wow.
I think Giannis, listen, man, like, I think Giannis is a great player, right? But I feel like he when you hear what he was saying, and how Milwaukee keep getting bounced out in the first round, this and that and the third, he fails to mention that 2 out of those 3 times he was out due to an injury twice. So that had a lot of reason why the Milwaukee Bucks got bounced in the first round. So I think chemistry wise, it's not gonna work out. I don't see him and Jalen Brunson. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, right? But I just don't see him and Jalen Brunson clicking. I think there's gonna be chemistry issues. Um, um, and I just don't like his vibe really. Um, I think stars nowadays, their ego gets the best of them, and I think here in New York, if things don't work out with a guy like that, it's just gonna go left. It's just gonna go left. And to be honest with you, like, why even break up this team after one season? When we got Cat, we traded everything for Cat, and we made it all the way to the East, the conference final, only to break it up, right? Only to break it up and then make a move like that. Just to me, it doesn't make sense.
That's fair, and that's similar to what I had in mind when that happened. But I'm gonna first allow the first lady say what I know she's gonna say. We all know what she's gonna say. So
Oh no. All
okay,
right, so when I saw the report, I'm like, well, thank God that didn't happen. Cause yeah, I may not have watched Knicks this season if that would have happened. Cause I'm not a fan of his at
wow,
all. I'm not a fan of his at all. Not taking away from his talent, but kind of like what Kev said, not everybody's made for New York, right? I don't think he would fit with Jalen. I think he's very ball dominant. He's very much more ball dominant than Cat, in my opinion. Um, I don't like his whining and crying. That's not New York basketball. It annoys me. It annoys me when people are held to this very high standard, like him, like LeBron. And again, it doesn't take away from their talent. But y'all whine all fucking game. Like that shit annoys me as a fan, right? Like I come from 90s basketball where you man up and that's it. Like so yeah, I'm not a fan of his. I'm glad it didn't happen. I do not want him to be a Nick, not this season, not never. And me
wow.
and Kev kind of talked about it last show. The baggage that comes with signing him, right? Because reports came in today that the Bucks have now signed their younger brother. So it would be bring him and his two younger brothers with him. We have better talent than his younger brothers on our bench right now. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
Absolutely.
is it
And,
worth
and
it?
and we already did the Thanasis Antetokounmpo experiment, but we were the ones that drafted him.
Right,
Right.
That's the
That shit
case
did
in
exactly.
not
point.
work out. That shit did not
So
work
it's
out.
like we'll need to bring him and have two extra spots to hold his brothers.
Right.
We're
Or
not
any
doing
one
the
of his
J.R.
brothers
Smith,
in.
Chris Smith shit again.
Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
So my initial reaction was no shit. Um, that was my initial reaction. No shit. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think that was been the major discussion about him since the offseason began, whether he was going to continue in Milwaukee or not. And then when they made the moves that they did by trading, by releasing Damian Lillard and then signing Miles Turner, and then you didn't hear shit from Giannis other than like one off podcast remark about how much he liked being in New York and him being in New York, spending time in the Hamptons and stuff like that. I mean, it was kind of obvious to me what he wanted. The problem I have with that is that again the timing, because if he were to have said this on July 2nd, July 4th, in the middle of July, before the Knicks had made the extension offer to Mikal Bridges, before the Knicks had made moves to get Jordan Clarkson, before they even had a fucking coach, if he would have said those things then I would say, let's at least entertain it. Let's at least hear the Bucks out on what they want to do. Uncle Paulie was good. But the reality is that Giannis now wants to come to the Knicks. Reminds me of how when LeBron now wants to come to the Knicks after dissing us 2-3 different times. Kevin Durant wanted to come to the Knicks now after dissing us 2 or 3 different times. Every, when guys, now say they want to come to the Knicks. Look, I'm happy that players now look at the Knicks as a viable, situation. That I consider that a blessing because we've been wanting to change that narrative about New York, for the last 25 years since the Patrick Ewing days, since when Carmelo Anthony was here, Stephon Marbury, the list goes on and on. But the timing sucks. The situation sucks. And in order for Giannis to come over here, we would have to ship out almost $60 million of salary. And you're talking about trading Karl Anthony Towns, which, whether you believe, rumors or not, the Milwaukee Bucks are not interested in. You could probably trade OG Anunoby, one of our best wing defenders. Probably trade Mikal Bridges at the time before you extended him. I mean, come on now. It doesn't make sense. Financially, it doesn't make sense as a team. And now that the Knicks are in the win now mode that we were just alluding to, it makes no sense. I don't care what analyst or what personality goes on and tells you, well, the Knicks should have done this. Well, let me refer to you to 2011 when the Knicks traded all their chips for Carmelo Anthony and then took on more salary than they actually sent out. Look, I love Carmelo Anthony and I consider it a blessing that he was here. But the matter of how he got here, I don't think anyone was happy about. When you traded away Danilo Gallinari, Timothy Mozgov, Wilson Chandler, Raymond Felton, a bunch of draft picks, then you traded Anthony Randolph and Eddie Curry to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then you got all these guys. You got Chauncey Billups, Sheldon. I mean, we can revisit that trade all we want. The only good news part that you got out of that is that you got Carmelo Anthony. The bad news is you traded the farm and you set yourself back 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. So to do that again for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Not only did we trade the farm and get Carmelo Anthony, but we got a disgruntled Chauncey Billups, who we then had to amnesty when we could have used that on Stat.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
I remember
that. To kind of put this all in a bottle, and I know it's been a week and everybody's probably tired of hearing about it. The Knicks made the right decision of not making, if it's true that whatever report it is, of being serious about making the trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo at this point. Now, can we revisit this later on? Sure. If the Knicks are struggling and we're closing on the February trade deadline, sure, we can revisit this. But as of right now, I am happy with the team that I have. I believe in the team that we have. And this team, as currently constructed, is poised, ready, and able to not only compete in the Eastern Conference, win the Eastern Conference, and compete and win the franchise's first NBA championship in 53 years. That's how I'm hyped. I feel it in my bones, man. I don't know what to do with myself.
Bro, and let me tell you, my brother Av, that's why we're not gonna have to revisit that trade, because that's how good this team is gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we're not gonna want that drama of him fighting with Tyrese Halliburton for the ball after a champ or whatever happened in the back for the locker room that he was fighting for the ball back, and then where he was flipping ladders in Philadelphia. Security had to try to calm him down. Like just imagine him doing shit like that while he's wearing a Knicks jersey. The kind of drama that's gonna bring to us, the bad publicity that's gonna bring for the Knicks. We don't need that kind of energy on this team, bro. Everybody on this team love each other. Like Mikal said on that interview with Alan Hahn. Everybody love each other on this team. These guys already have that. They already gelled. They all in. They already know what it takes, like you said, to get to that next level. But this time, they've added some pieces what they needed to that bench, and this could be the possible year that they break that streak and win a championship. So. I don't think we should even be looking at Giannis right now, bro. He should be worrying about going to the Lakers or going over there to team up with LeBron and or Steph Curry in Golden State to help those guys. Let him go over there. We listen. We got the NBA buzzing right now for the past few years, especially last season. We got the NBA by storm, bro. Just not only with the team but within the fan base. Like the whole vibe is fucking spectacular. Is up here. You know
Immaculate.
what I'm saying? It's immaculate right now, bro.
Immaculate vibes.
What we need to be focusing on right now is winning a championship with this team. Fuck Giannis, fuck KD, fuck LeBron, fuck all those guys that didn't want to come here, like you said. All those guys that had more than one opportunity to come over here and help change this organization around, and they didn't want to do it. Now we got our team. We don't need nobody. We don't want y'all to come here. Yeah, like you said, it's cool that y'all want to come here, but it's too late. It's too late. Y'all should have
Facts.
came when y'all had the chance. Y'all didn't come. Y'all swung 3 times and missed. Strike out. You're out of here. It's time to build with what we got right now. Keep our young players. Let's keep our young players. Fuck all that trading shit. Let's try to keep our young players. If we have to cut certain guys, we cut whoever we have to cut, and just let's keep building with Mike Brown, this new coach, this new philosophy that he's bringing into this team, and let's try to take it to the promised land. Let's go to Disney this year, B.
Yeah, bro. I think. I was thinking to myself because obviously after the report came, all the content creators already had Giannis in a Knicks jersey and all that stuff, and I was thinking to myself,
Nasty work. Nasty work.
how would that look? Even if you were to make that happen, how would that look? And I mean, you guys are absolutely right. I don't think that Giannis would work well with Jalen Brunson. It's just the two games are just, it doesn't work to me. They both demand the ball. They both even though that you're trying to make Jalen be more off ball. But I mean, don't get me wrong. The Greeks in New York City will freaking go bananas with that shit. I mean, euros are going to go up about $10, a slice and whatnot. But aside from that, what else does Giannis bring to us? And I mean, you can bring down the stats all you want. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to translate those same stats from Milwaukee to New York, because it's a different team, a different philosophy, a different identity, and he's going to have. Even though it's going to be Giannis, he's still going to play. He's still going to play his Greek freak ball, and it's still going to be incredible. It's still going to benefit to a lot of wins. However, how does that fit with the current chemical makeup of this team? Because like I said, if you would have said this before we hired Mike Brown, before we got Jordan Clarkson, before we got Gershon Yabusele, before you extended Mikal Bridges, before you went and got Malcolm Brogdon and Landry Shaman and Alex Len and Garrison Matthews, and you got all these guys, and then you made all the moves that you made. I mean, you could have talked to us even before then, because then we could at least had some time to, not only as fans, to acclimate ourselves to the idea of Giannis as a Knick, but overall, the team gets used to being, used to the idea of Giannis as a Knick. And I don't know. I just don't see how that would, how that actually works, because I know that Stephen A. Smith, you can say what you want about him. He'll say, well, the Knicks are going to the finals. The Knicks are going to the finals. Mark my word. The Knicks are going to the finals. And I love that enthusiasm when it's genuine and sincere. But is that does that make the most basketball sense at this given moment, Mrs. Knicks?
No. I think if you look at the teams that have won, let me say this. Let me finish that thought. Sorry, my brain is all over the place. When you look at the teams that have won, they have been together for more than a few seasons, right? We cannot keep changing our core, right? You can easily interchange role players, but you cannot keep changing the core. And removing Cat and adding a Giannis changes the core, changes how this team will function, right? Like we can't keep doing that every year and expect a championship. It's just not gonna happen. Look how long Boston was together. Look how long OKC has been together. As much as we hate Indiana, they've been together for a while to get to where they got last season, right? Like we cannot. We change team. We change players so often that we're not allowing this team to gain chemistry. And I get it, as fans, we're so hungry for a championship, but we got to do it the right way. We can't. These big names are not going to buy us championships. Even when you look back, the very key players in many, if not most, of the championships that have been won have been role players, right? Look at the Jordan era. You look at even the
The
LeBron
Tim
era,
Duncan
Kobe
era, the
era.
Tim Duncan era, the
Yeah,
Tim Duncan
the
Exactly,
era.
Spurs, the Warriors, all those dynasties.
exactly. So many of the of players that impacted at the very end of games were role players. So we got to make sure our role players are solid players. We can't.
And
You
then
gotta.
and then
You got to
my
keep it,
bad, go ahead, sis.
and don't think that a Cat Giannis is not going to change the makeup of this team. It absolutely changes the makeup of this team, right? Giannis, Giannis doesn't like Uncle Paulie says, he doesn't stretch the floor like Cat does. So now we're
Nope.
going to be paint heavy, right? Because Mitch
Right.
ain't going out the paint.
Hmm.
Then that leaves less room for JB to play in the paint. That leaves less room for Mikal to play in the paint, where we know he's unstoppable at as well. So do we risk that? I'm not willing to risk that. Not for a big name. I'm sorry. I want the team's core to remain the same. Like you said, unless something drastically happens between now and February, this team needs to remain the same. Ride with it. They have the makeup to win a championship. You can't tell me no different.
And then look at those teams that put stars together. Suns, Lakers, Clippers, Philadelphia. Uh, when those guys try to put star players together, look at how it worked.
Right,
Phoenix, trash, trash.
right,
The Clippers, the
Completely
Clippers,
trash. The
trash.
Clippers, trash. I mean, the Clippers made the playoffs, but that's it. That's all they do. They make the playoffs. That's it. They
And
don't
we were
really.
doing
They
that,
haven't.
and we're doing that without them.
Right,
right.
right. You know what I'm
And
saying?
think about it,
Uh, uh.
like you said, Kev, we made it that far. Remember when we traded for Cat? We traded for him as the season was starting. He had
Right,
0 days to prepare to
right,
be with this team.
Yeah, he
right.
was traded. He was traded. He was traded on Sunday. He had to be at work on Monday. It was kind of like
Right.
fuck.
It was like
Absolutely.
the day
You
before the first preseason game or some shit like that. Because he
No,
said
it
bro.
was the day before me. It was right before media day. It was like
media
media.
day. That's right.
Look
It
at
was right
look
before
at
media
those.
day because remember Jalen was like, "How does it feel about playing with Carl?" He's like, "Who's Carl?"
Yeah, he said, "Who's Carl?" Right,
Look,
because it hadn't
my,
officially been put out yet.
Exactly.
look. Like you look at Philadelphia since they put the whole
Terrible. Paul
poor
George on the
George
team.
over there. It's been disaster. What's the other team? The Bucks. The Bucks.
Yep.
When they traded Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard, you saw how that worked out. It didn't work out, bro. It didn't
They also
work
didn't.
out.
They also didn't
Not
stay
only that,
healthy either.
no, but not only that, I promise you there was chemistry issues there. I promise you that. I promise
Absolutely,
you
you can
that.
see it all in Dame's. Dame
Listen,
is
if
a hood dude. You could read his body language
he was
easily.
not feeling Giannis, I promise
No,
you. If you listen, I'm a Dame fan. I'm a Dame fan. I like Dame. I always wanted him to be a Knick. But you could see there was no chemistry between him and Giannis, bro. Them
Not to
guys
mention,
did not play well together.
his heart was set on going to Miami. Remember that. And he really wanted to go to the Miami Heat, and when that didn't happen, and all of a sudden we find out he got traded to Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure he was like, "I'm going where?
right.
But
What?"
like, okay, yeah, I'm going to Milwaukee to play with Giannis now. I could potentially try to win a championship if I go over there, right? But
But the fool don't speak
probably might
English.
have a better chance. Probably might have a better chance at winning a championship with Giannis in Milwaukee than going to Miami. Probably,
Right.
probably, because there's no Jimmy Butler in Miami now. Or was Jimmy Butler there at the time they were gonna make the
I think he
trade?
was still there. I think he was still there.
All
He was
right,
traded
so
a little
maybe
bit
if
after that
he
to Golden State.
okay, so maybe if he was still there, they probably would have had a chance. But either way, bro, I still, if imagine how bad Damian and him played. Imagine Jalen Brunson and him, how that would be, bro. You could just tell that Dame was not even himself in Milwaukee.
No, he wasn't.
I
And that's
honestly
why
don't think he ever wanted to be traded from Portland. I don't care
he
what reports
no
say.
he
I think his heart was always in Portland.
his heart was in Portland. His heart was definitely with Portland because that's why surprise, surprise, he's back in Portland.
Right.
But I think he just wanted a chance at a title, and he realized, he went to them respectfully and said, "Look, we had a great ride and everything, but the reality is that we're not competing for a title here, not with this team. I need to be traded. Here's where I wanted to go." And he figured that Miami was the best, even though he would have been wrong, but in his mind, that would have been his best option. When Miami at the time, remember they were strapped with, for salary. They were strapped with draft picks. They didn't have much to offer Portland at the time. And then Milwaukee, because they were in the win now mode at that time, they made sense for them to make that deal because they were trying to appease Giannis. Now here we are again 1 year later, and
Trying to
you're
appease
still trying to
Giannis.
appease. You got to
Look
appease
at look at
Giannis.
look at look at what happened with Brooklyn, with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. Another situation where you put three star together and it just completely go left. It completely goes left. It ruins
Look at
everything.
OKC when they were there.
Yeah. Well. When KD and Russ were there, they made it to the finals. They just got
Yep.
mollywopped by Miami that 1 year. They were alright until KD pulled that snake shit and went over there to the
To
to
Golden
the
State.
ops. He went to the ops to go play with Golden State, and then that's how he was able to win his championships. You know, but I feel like got teams like OKC, the Knicks, even the Golden State Warriors did it right. I can't even hold them. They did it right. Like I think that if we follow that, what Leon is doing right now, how he built this team from when he started, what, 5 years ago till now, to this
Yep.
point. What's
Give
this
or take,
year
yeah.
six? Is this year six?
This year
Something like that, I
five.
think so.
Yeah. So I mean, let's keep it going, Leon. You haven't made no wild. I mean, you did already when you traded for Cat. You shocked the world when you traded for Cat. You shocked the world when you traded for Cat. Nobody was ready for that one, but
No one was ready for that. No matter how much
except
CP
Brad. I
wants to
think
claim that he
Brad
that
did.
he knew about it beforehand, nobody was ready for it because when it happened, I was pissed. I was
Yeah, I was. I was
We
kind of
all
pissed
was.
myself. I ain't gonna
Okay.
lie.
And
I
it
ain't gonna
wasn't
lie.
it wasn't solely because we were because we were getting Cat, is because we were losing Julius Randle, and we had built that that
Yeah.
bond with him and that belief in him. But that's
Unfortunately,
neither here nor there.
unfortunately for Julius, like, you know, just to throw it out there, you have real fans out here that supported you, bro. Word. But
And we loved you,
anyway,
and we
yeah,
wish you
right,
the,
right.
we loved you, and we wish you the best of luck, Mama Randall. You did right. You
Right,
raised a good boy there, and we thank you and appreciate you for all the years you did. Folks,
right.
if you're loving the content here, be sure to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Hit us up on the super chat down low. Get yourself some merch. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're right now. What number are we at right now?
650. Let me
I'll
look.
tell you right now. Hold on one second. I'm gonna tell
We're,
you right now.
we're at 656. So please do us a favor and share the video, share the links, do whatever you can to help us out. Because once we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, we are going to do a big Knicks and Ish giveaway to all those
656.
656. So
656.
and just so we're clear about this, we were less than 500 like less than a month ago. So we're
Wow.
up and coming.
Right.
So just so just so that we know the news is getting out there. If you're loving the content, please hit a like, a comment, and subscribe. Sharing is caring. Do your part and talk that Knicks and Ish.
That was a good one.
I designed this shirt for
I
tea
like
time.
that too.
I designed this shirt. I had that shirt idea where it says "Talk." Let me talk my ish, and then it has the logo right there. But uh, that's neither here nor there. If you like it, comment down below. If you like that idea, let me talk my ish, and get tea time to get on that and get on the ball so we can get ideas rolling.
Right.
Um,
No, but
anyway,
we really appreciate all y'all. I know me and Kev said it twice on last show. Because last show, which was Friday, we were at 624. So in just these few days, I don't know, our page has gone crazy. So we absolutely appreciate y'all. We're just fans just like y'all, just enjoying the Knicks
That's
and
it.
talking that
That's
real
it.
ish,
and
and
talking
And
talking
that
we
that.
ish.
real
Exactly.
and listen, man, like we real approachable people. Like we love talking Knicks, man. Like so
Facts.
you
And
ever
we'll
see it?
debate. We will debate your ass if you want.
Right,
If you
fact.
want, we will
Fact.
debate the hell out of one of some. There was this one person I was talking on the subway the other day. Because he watches the show. He's a subscriber, and he noticed me, and he's like, how can I say that Bernard King should not get his number retired? And I mean, we went down the numbers. We went over everything.
Wow.
This dude was ready to fight me. Like he was like, how dare I say that? And I'm like, dog, what you're talking about is fucking pure blasphemy, bro. I mean, come on, mellow before, come on. But I digress. I digress.
That's hilarious. Those are cool moments right there because I remember the first time I met Mike Brown at an event in Manhattan. I forgot which one it was, but me and T Tom was there, and we went, and that's how I met Mike Brown, man. Well, cool dude, him and his girl. I met him and his girl that day, and we took pictures and all that.
So that leads into my final question. A lot's been said on social media that Mike Brown stated. I think it was on Friday that he said it, that he has yet to call a single play. And that's kind of stirred up a couple of conversations here and there, in smaller Knicks circles. Um, Kev, what do you think about that statement that he has yet to even call a single offensive play from the bench?
I mean, I'm not concerned about it. I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. I'll leave that for the Nick for Clicks crew and the media and all the guys that really want to make a big deal about it. This is just the preseason. If he starts doing that in the regular season when games start, really matter, like really matter, then it'll be a little alarming to me. But right now, I'm not looking too far into that.
Mrs. Nix.
I'm a little torn on it. One, I want to see what his offense looks like with our guys, right? Because yes, we know his philosophies, but what does that look like on our court, right? Like, so I was wanting to see it, but then also I'm like, well, maybe he doesn't want to give out his secrets in preseason.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
let teams be prepared for us. So I'm kind of like in the air. Um, there were times in the first two games where I'm like, okay, this offense looks super good, right? I mean, there were times where it looked sloppy. Of course, it's preseason, but there was times where we're like, okay, this looks good. But then to hear like that wasn't really a play, that just organically happened. That shows the chemistry that this team has, right? Going back to what we were talking about. Um, so I'm up in the air. I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about it. I definitely feel like during the season he better don't pull this shit. He better make sure these guys are on point at all times. Now, if they running it and we're winning, cool, I'm good with it. But then again, what happens in a tight game when you do call a play and it doesn't work right because they haven't done it? You know what I mean? So it's like it's a difference in running it in practice and running it in real time. And that
Right.
concerns me a little. Um, but that's just me. I'm always nervous about stuff. Uh, but I mean, that's weird. I will say this on a kind of go into this. Mike Brown talks a lot. He talks a lot. He puts out too much shit in the media of New York, and they're gonna run with this shit. And I don't
Yep.
like it. I like when our coaches and front offices are silent, because it we already get enough of media attention and Knicks for clicks on X and everything else when they say nothing. Well, now with him talking too much, you get reports like this, like, oh, he hasn't
Right.
called not one single play.
I'm on the same boat with that one because I'm of the belief that since he is a brand new coach with these new players, it's the first time he's working with most of them, and they've been adjusted to a style that Tom Thibodeau has instilled in them over the last 4 or 5 years. I always think to myself, well, shouldn't they be running some of those plays, those like that new philosophy? And obviously we saw that in Abu Dhabi, and we saw that a little bit on Friday night. But it's not like I would like to see that whatever philosophy he is instilling in them is being applied and applied to perfection to some degree.
Right.
Obviously, it's not going to be perfect right off the bat, and we're always going to see that. But I would at least like to see what Jalen Brunson's role is going to be. What is Carl Anthony Towns' role going to be? What is OG? Where's our starters and where's our bench? What is it that they're going to be doing now? Given I like the idea of keeping secrets, so that way it's harder to defend the Knicks because you've never seen these Knicks. You've never seen what they can do. You just basically get to play the last, the last tape of the last game and then go off of that. But at the same time, a lot. We do have some new pieces. We do have a Jordan Clarkson, a Gershon Yabusele, a Jordan Clarkson, a Malcolm Brogdon. We have these guys that have not played with our Knicks before. They've never played in under Mike Brown. So I'm with you, Mrs. Nix, in terms of that. I have my concerns, but at the same time, I then have to then recite to myself, well, this is a former coach, coach of the year. This is a former NBA champion, assistant coach, 4 or 5 times over. This is a guy who's played, who's coached LeBron James, coached Steph Curry, coached, he's been around. He's well seasoned as a coach. Do I still have concerns? Absolutely. But I think I can rest my laurels in the fact that, number one, Leon Rose has not steered us wrong. Number two, our players are basketball players. I think Jordan Clarkson said it the best. Is like it's just basketball at the end of the day. And finally, the talent and the professionalism that has been exuded off this team, as you know, in just in the media, in the conferences, in press conferences, stuff like that. And me knowing Jalen Brunson from the distance that I do have, I think that it'll work. But I stressed this out again, like I did a few weeks ago on my last appearance here. There's going to be an adjustment period. There's going to be some bumpy roads. There's going to be some moments where we're going to be like, what the hell was that supposed to be? And yeah, we're going to be sitting here. We're going to criticize it, especially if it costs us wins. That they're going to be crucial to us. In standings and seeding. But I don't know. I stress this out again. This feels like this is the season that you, Kev, you, Anna, you, T, you, Fraz, you, my buddy Steve, and a lot of people, within our age range who were not around in 1973. But this could be the season we have waited our entire lives for. And when that opening night happens and we're opening up the Garden against the Cleveland Cavaliers, another Eastern Conference heavyweight, then we can start talking. Then we can start analyzing. There better be some. Yeah, exactly. Come on, Brown.
There better be some damn plays.
You better be calling some fucking plays, because if not, somebody's gonna fuck us up, man. Come on now.
I think Mike Brown got this in the bag. I think we're in good hands. He's an experienced coach. I think he did a good job in Sacramento with what he had. You know what I mean?
They were fun to watch.
Yeah, they were. And when we played them, they gave us a run for our money every time. We always came out with the win, but most of the time we came out with the win, but they gave us a run for our money.
I'm gonna go to the other side of that though. He's a good coach and all that, but y'all know New York is a different beast.
No, it is.
Right,
it is.
Right.
Of course not.
Of course.
So he could be all that good, but one little something went wrong with this team, all hell gonna break loose in New York. And is he ready for that?
Yeah. I think hey, listen, I think he is too. But that time will come and we'll see how he handles it.
Well,
I think he's a more than well experienced coach to be able to handle the pressure here in New York City.
Well, we will soon find out when we reconvene on Friday night. The New York Knicks at home again. We'll take on the Charlotte Hornets, and we'll be here right back here, to cover that game, and you get some more analysis of course, as soon as more Knicks news happens, we will be right here to let you know about it and give us our analysis. Quick program alert on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. If you have an X account and you like to do spaces, I host one every Wednesday night now, the Knickerbocker Avenue Fan Forum on the Bleed Blue Show on X Spaces. Please join in. It's probably the most insightful hour that you'll have on Spaces, because if you've ever been on Spaces, some of them can last all freaking day, and they're just talking about nothing. We're talking about something. We're talking more Knicks and ish. We're talking more basketball in that 1 hour block than most spaces do in 6 hours. It's just crazy to me. And it's one of the only few spaces that Mrs. Knicks actually goes to.
Facts. Facts. I don't got time for the drama of X.
Yeah,
so, you want to run? So, real quick, final thoughts before we head out here, because we got to go to work tomorrow. Mrs. Knicks.
No, nothing really. I mean, we'll be here after next game, And then after every game all season, per usual. And just be patient. I'm gonna just keep saying the same thing. Be patient, Knicks fans. This is a marathon. We are not running a sprint. We're gonna take some losses that may not be pretty losses, but we need all the positive juju to this team because I'm gonna go beyond what Knickerbocker Ave said. This is our year. This is our year. Not this could be. This is our year. We need to take full advantage of it because next year, when everybody's healthy, it's not gonna be as easy. This is not saying it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna be as easy as it's gonna get. So stay positive. Let's not turn on these guys, especially when they're down. We need to lift them up because time and time again, I hear them say they feel our energy. They feed off of the fans' energy. So we need to continue to feed them so that they can continue to win. But now I'm excited. I'm so ready for the season to start. I'm so ready. But yeah, we'll see y'all next game.
I think you just echoed the same sentiment that Carmelo Anthony did when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He felt that energy, he felt the love, and he felt the power of the five boroughs and all Knickerbocker Nation. And I think that's it's not only should we not turn on the players, but let's be realistic, folks. We should not be turning on each other. We all bleed orange and blue, and we can have a difference of opinion, but at the end of the day, it's all about that Knickerbocker love. Kev?
And
Listen, if you have,
let me add one more thing. They shouldn't have to feel the weight of New York on their shoulders, right? We should be, as fans, lifting them above that. And I think that's where we as fans need to be. Like, everyone knows we're the best fans in the world, right? Everybody knows that. So we need to feed that into our guys and watch them flourish. They're gonna do great. It just takes time, and this is it. This is it. Look, my money's ready to be in New York for the finals, y'all.
listen, I think that if you really want to start a vibe, start throwing more watch parties on the side of the gardens again throughout the season, man. And you'll see what kind of vibe you're gonna get throughout the city
They not
after every
they
single
not gonna
game.
do that. They're not gonna do
That's too expensive.
I'm telling you, kid, you will have the city vibing for real, like nothing that has ever, like nothing ever before, bro. It would be crazy. It would be crazy if they did something like that. But listen, man, I think we'll be fine, man. I think we'll be fine. I think we're gonna have I think we're gonna have fun this year, like we did last season. Probably more fun. Um, and we just gotta have faith in this team, man. We gotta have faith in our coach. We just gotta believe. We gotta stick with our guys, like you said, Anna, and hold it down for them, man, because they need us. Um, and let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. My final thought is that, folks, if you have crazy expectations, it's understandable. But remember what the goal is. The goal is not go 82-0. The goal is to bring that Larry O'Brien to Madison Square Garden and let it be hoisted by the New York Knicks. The last time that Larry O'Brien was here was in 1999, but it was hoisted by the San Antonio Spurs. I have yet to let go of that memory. If you are a fan like I was at that point, you wouldn't either. So it's about that time. The goal is not 82-0. The goal is the big gold ball. With that, be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to comment. Sharing is caring. Be sure to hit up the Knicks in the Shopify. And until Friday night when the Knicks take on and hopefully destroy the Charlotte Hornets, for Kev, for Mrs. Knicks, I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Ave, signing out. Hit the outro.
Let's go, Nick!
check 1, 2. Tell these rappers I'm outside, get them start acting up. Turning hoes to housewives and cleaning the ratchet up. Do it off from boom bap the melody rap. If they gon' put you in the box, then you might as well pack it up. Bars having bars, no cap, I'm Attica, you a precinct. How y'all competing when y'all just decent? Your rhyme efficiency's like logic simplicity. Don't tell me how much that you black, cause I don't see it.